This is a day that's going to be etched in history. It's a quest for truth, and it can seem crazy, but all of us laughed at this topic, including myself. This is probably the most ridiculous thing I ever thought that I'd be doing, and here I am organizing the Flat Earth International Conference, but I'm not laughing anymore.
1, 2, 3, we're not crazy!
What's going on, ladies and gents? My name is Jake. This is my buddy Shadow. We're just doing a little overview of a video that came out about a year ago by Vice over Flat Earth. We're gonna jump right into the video, and we're just gonna kind of go through and shoot out our opinions. Sound good, Shadow?
Sounds great, man.
There's a lot of people that have different ideas on what the flat earth is, but one thing we all agree on is that we don't live on a spinning ball flying through infinite space.
Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, gyrating? No, I'm pretty rock solid.
We always say, don't believe us, do your own research, but unless you know there's a question, you're not going to do the research.
Toilet water's not flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it doesn't fly out of the toilet because water seeks its level.
So right off the bat, we meet David Weiss, who obviously doesn't believe that the world is a globe. So he goes on about saying we need to do our own research. You know, don't believe him. Do your own research, basically. As a guy that's kind of pushing this as like a movement, I would think, you know, he'd want you to believe him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Forgot I had a video pulled open, that's why I kept staring over there like a tard.
But so right off the bat, the whole flat Earth thing just kind of, at first glance on this video, I'm like, okay, this guy's just some dude talking out of his ass. And then we meet Robert, who says we don't feel ourselves spinning. We're not falling all over the place. Gyrating around. And the reason he doesn't believe in gravity, from what I took, is because water isn't falling out of people's toilets and whatnot.
In Australia.
In Australia. It's
Places.
because water seeks its level. Which okay, kind of makes sense because water is found in low places. So what he's saying is the lowest point is the toilet bowl in this sense. But then again, gravity could hold it down, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to an extent.
What do you have to say about this?
Talking about Australia, dude?
Any of the first portion that we just watched?
I mean, you got some solid points about the Earth being not flat and flat, I guess, all in its own sense.
Yeah.
The toilet water one, I don't like that analogy because it just doesn't really make sense at all. Because I can pour water into a bucket, and of course it's not going to go anywhere, regardless if the Earth is flat or not. I don't understand his fucking. It's not splashing around.
He makes it sound like water is like a living thing that is trying to get to the lowest point on Earth.
Exactly.
But then again, am I seeking my level of being on the Earth?
No, you're just
okay.
chilling.
All right. I had to clear that up. I didn't know if that was something that I just subconsciously did and I didn't know I was doing. All right, let's get back to this video real quick.
The flat Earth would be a circular flat area surrounded by a field that is known as Antarctica.
This white rim around the outside, a lot of people refer to it as the ice wall.
And then the dome is over the top. Now, how high it is also in question.
I believe it's some kind of a star field firmament about 6,000 miles above us. And it appears to be a cymatic light field, electromagnetic energy, not gravity at all. Gravity is a deception. The sun and the moon are these transcendental cymatic luminaries.
All right, so the second little segment we showed had Mark Sargent. He explains how the Earth is a disc, and how you know, if the Earth is a disk, then that makes Antarctica this big wall around the Earth. And then and then Patricia put her scientific evidence of some people refer to it as the ice wall. I mean, there's not really too many talking points on this one. Obviously, flat earthers believe Earth is flat, and do you know where this whole thing came about? Was it the United Nations like emblem? How it's a flat? It's the globe flat.
Flattened. There's a lot of like extra like points about like you talking about like where the flat Earth originated from.
Yeah.
I think it came more back in the day, like way back in the day when people were like just starting to sail around, that nobody had ever seen an outside view from it, i.e. space. So they all just assumed it was flat, and that's how it was for years until we had our little space race in the 60s, went to space, then took the pictures of it, and then realized that it's not flat.
Well, I mean, there was the whole thing about like Christopher Columbus. They were worried about like him and all of his ships were just gonna fall off the edge of the Earth and shit like that. But supposedly, one ship was sailing out far enough ahead, and they saw it slowly dipping down in the horizon, and that's when they were like, "Okay, we're clearly not falling off of it. It's round, you know." My bad. So then. That covers the whole Mark and Patricia segment, the conference speakers. And then we go to Watson Atkinson, who's a vendor, and based off of what he's saying, all this crazy shit he's talking about, dude, I don't even know what he said. Like half the words that he just launched out in that 5-second spiel was not shit. They were not words I have ever heard. I mean, I've probably heard them, but not all thrown in that sentence, which I feel like is a really good way of just mind fucking people. You know?
He's just confusing us commenters with all this
Yeah.
fancy talk. So we're just like, oh, dude, yeah, you have no idea what he's really saying.
Like after watching it a couple times, I was like, okay, this dude's clearly talking about there's a dome on this flat Earth, and it's about 6,000 miles above us or some shit like that, and we don't actually see it, and it doesn't have anything gravity or something like that. It's just kind of holding everything in.
You must be referring to the ozone layers.
That's that's exactly my thought. Like
I don't know.
I just don't understand where they get this information from, and like, yes, it's a theory. No, it's not a theory. There are some selling points. Like it's not in this video, but have you seen the flight pattern video?
Mm-hmm.
The one where it's like, oh, this lady was flying from Japan and she was going down to California, and they had to, they had to do an emergency landing, and they landed in Alaska.
Uh-huh.
They're like, what the fuck, Well, it looks weird on the globe because you're going in a big fucking... You're going way out of your way on the globe. But then you look at it on the flat Earth, and it looks like a solid line. Which based on how everything... Like, this isn't... I haven't really seen this covered, but I feel like, flight, speed... that the world's moving and all that shit play into it, and you're also coming from the opposite side of the world. So like, who's to say it wouldn't be quicker? Because like looking at the globe, you're like, oh, it makes sense to just cut right across the ocean. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know. I don't know too much about that. What are you thinking about the flight?
I mean, I've watched a lot of flight pattern videos because I've looked into this whole flight thing before. And all the flight paths are like mapped to like a geological standpoint that the Earth is flat. Like every flight pattern you like watch, it would refer to the Earth being flat for some odd reason, which I don't understand, like why it's mapped like that and not just a normal, like I'm going from California to the Philippines, the straight flight there. There's always like a random stop that you're like that makes no sense. And so I don't how do I put it? I don't make flight patterns. I just watch everybody else's like tall tale signs of like how they like flat Earth everything. But on a flat Earth map, the only thing that makes sense is it being actually flat and not round.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna hop back into that video and keep on trucking through.
I don't need you to believe me, I'm just here to plant the seed that the grand global conspiracy is that the Earth's flat.
The best part of being at a conference like this is I can talk to somebody that will listen to you. My mother, if I try to talk to her about any of these things, she doesn't believe me. I just can't take that rejection. So coming here, you're going to talk to people who have done the same journey and they've come to the same conclusions and they don't want to live a lie.
So, God, what a rap, he's throwing some sick bars, brother. You know what I'm saying? Fuck his little conventions. He needs to just get his own tour, and travel the world, spreading from the flat Earth conspiracy / truth on tour. Fuck a convention where everyone's just sitting around talking about how the Earth is flat, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. Fucking more you know. So Kathy Duncan, she's a vendor. It looked like she was selling sheets. First off, I just wanted to say that. But she says, I didn't write down everything she said, but she said basically, I like these conferences because I come to them and everyone here is on the same page with me, so I have people to talk to about this. If I go to my mother, she calls me a fucking lunatic. Okay, that makes sense. And she likes that she doesn't have to face rejection. And I can kind of relate to this. I was this was like a year ago now. This guy approached me, and he was like, "How would you like to make money part-time, blah, 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 blah. All you got to do is work a couple hours a month, this and that, blah, blah, blah." I go meet up with him a couple times, and the next thing I know, I'm at this conference. And I'm already very skeptical about this because he showed me how it worked. And I was like, it's not a pyramid scheme, but everyone's making money, but the more people you have signed up underneath you, you get bonuses from this company, and you know, it's the more you work, the more you make kind of deal. And I go to this conference, man, and I'm like, you know, all these people are like, "Oh yeah, we got all this shit you can sell to your friends, your family, your mom, your dad, aunts, uncles, coworkers, blah 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 blah." And after this conference, I was kind of excited, you know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start selling this shit, make some money, maybe recruit some people along the way. And every motherfucker who I contacted about this company was like, I don't fuck know what it is, and I didn't know what it was before I did it. So like, it's almost like these conferences are just like, hey, don't get down, buddy. Keep on trucking. Keep believing in the fucking shit we want you to sell because we want to make money. So like that little section, Kathy Duncan kind of made me think that maybe this is just some dude that's starting a movement, and all he wants out of it is a bunch of fucked up people to just make money. Thoughts?
Alright, so there's a little name, something Jeffs. He was like on the FBI's most wanted or whatever. He started the, what is it? He's a polygamist? Is that what it's called? When you get multiple wives?
I'm not sure.
He started like the Church of the, something Latter-day Saints, but it was like one guy started bunch of people followed him, and it turned into this huge ordeal. And I feel like this guy that got that first convention going, it's kind of like him. And you get a few people to like follow you after that, and then so then it's more believable, if that makes sense. You're gonna look weird if you're just one person talking about how the Earth is flat, but there's a lot that you have like live people behind you, and everybody thinks it's like it could be real, blah blah blah. So yes, this guy could just want a bunch of people out there to be like, wow, you believe it too? Yeah, we should just get this big group going, because the more of us that say it's a real thing, the more believable it comes out of my mouth instead of just me by myself, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, fuck, man, let's
By the way, I got that video pulled up, and she's not selling sheets; they're t-shirts.
Oh, do they say the Earth is flat?
I can't read them, but she's definitely selling t-shirts, not sheets, though.
Hey, man, my bad. I'm very sorry, Kathy Duncan. I didn't mean to upset you with saying that you sell sheets. My bad. It's t-shirts. Good old graphic t-shirts. All right, man. You ready to hop into the next part of this clip?
Mm-hmm.
I've done about a dozen experiments. I was actually looking to debunk flat Earth. I'm not like a diehard flat earther. I want to be a flat earther. I want to believe the government. I want to believe what we've been told our whole life. There's nothing worse than being like, oh, the people that we pay taxes to are lying to us with our money.
They're lying. I ain't buying.
So who's they?
Well, basically, Satan.
I don't necessarily want to get into like naming. It's like, you know, is it the Illuminati or the Bilderbergs,
The Jesuits, the Freemasons,
or the Trilateral Commission, or the Vatican,
the Zionists, NASA, of course.
Alrighty. So I don't know what the fuck was up with that little like 5-minute segment of people just glaring into the camera.
All of 15 seconds, and they're just staring at the camera and not doing anything but awkwardly looking.
Someone was like,
"Hey,
the
Mom,
Earth
I'm
is
on
flat."
TV."
Okay, yeah, dude. I'll hop on board with that shit right now. So this Nathan Thompson guy, he went into it saying that he wasn't. He originally was trying to debunk that the Earth was flat, and then didn't really say too much about what convinced him that the world wasn't flat. But now he's now trying to debunk it. He's all for it. What do you think happened there? What do you think kind of was it the flight patterns that made him believe?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
I was about to say that. It's got to be the flight patterns.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like all these other conspiracy videos I've watched, I'm just like, dude, fuck this shit. This is some dude just on a soapbox preaching some bullshit. But then I watched my first flight pattern video and I was like, what the fuck, man? What is this? What is happening?
The thing with, so if you like believe, like you're a diehard, like I believe the Earth is round, that's how you're gonna be. But if you're kind of tossed up in the air and there was something like a conspiracy to believe, this is probably the one that would be like the easiest to have like valid points on, like debunking the round Earth.
Yeah.
But then again, that there's like he was saying, there's a lot of people like that he wants to trust, like the government, NASA,
Yeah.
all this other stuff. If the Earth was really flat, there's a lot of big names out there that try to keep it under wraps for years, which is like would be like a really big thing, and then that would mean like the moon landing never happened, so we've like would have never went to space. So there's like a lot of things that, like, if it was actually flat, there's a lot of big names going down.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are gonna be pissed off. But
What?
like, yeah, he walked in there like wanted to like debunk all this stuff, but then you have like the United Nations logo that's based off of flat Earth map. You have the flight patterns. That's a really big thing. The way people like portray like Antarctica, like, because nobody ever really goes to Antarctica, so you don't really know if it's just a really big ice wall that is surrounding everything, unless you actually go there and see that it is A or B, not an ice wall.
Yeah. So, okay, fun fact about the Antarctica. Well, I don't know if this is a fact. My dad showed me a video one time, and basically these guys went, like, because you know you're not allowed to go to Antarctica unless you're with like a crew and they're like heavily watching you and shit. So my dad told me that these guys went on like he showed me this video. These guys go on this undercover expedition or whatever. And when they get to Antarctica, they say, "Okay, we're gonna sail all the way around Antarctica." And I guess they got fuck, what's the Earth like 24,000 miles around or whatever?
Like, sure, I guess.
I don't know that number, and please don't scrutinize me for not knowing that number, whatever. But apparently these guys went like 10,000 miles. They didn't found Antarctica or whatever the numbers were. You know what I mean? And while they were down there, their shit was all fucked up. Their compasses weren't working right. They were just literally sailing alongside of Antarctica, and they never, were able to actually sail around. It's like, dude, that's fucking crazy. You know? I'd never heard that.
How many miles did you say the Earth was?
It's like 24,000.
24,901 miles.
Yeah. So like 10,000 miles around something should get you around it, correct?
How many? 10,000?
I'm bullshitting numbers here, man. It's just
I mean, you would sail roughly almost around like half of the Earth if you like just sailed in one direction. You would get halfway around.
So if you go down to Antarctica and you go to sail around it, you should be able to fucking go around it.
You should easily, because that's from the equator, like the dead middle of the Earth, and measuring like that point. Antarctica's nowhere close. I get if the globe shrinks or whatever, it's nowhere as close at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It is at the middle of it.
Yeah. So, going on from there, Robert says, who's to blame for this? You know, some people think it's the government for lying, the Illuminati, all that shit. Robert thinks Satan's behind it.
He did say Satan for some odd reason, like he was the one that made the Earth just flat.
Yeah. So, like, what I was kind of thinking on that point was, like, maybe what he's getting at there, because I'm very skeptical on this. Robert, to me, seems like a nutcase, but maybe he's saying some real shit, you know? Like, maybe what he's saying is, like, you know, if you believe in God and Satan and all that shit, maybe Satan is the one running the Illuminati and all these guys that are telling us, hey, the world is a globe. The world is not. So I think that's where he was going with when he says, I blame Satan. And then Mark from, you know, showing us the disc, and what's his name? Nathan Thompson. They're all about, it's the Illuminati, it's the Shriners, the Hillary, they don't say this, but the Hillary Foundation, the Kardashians, you know, anyone famous, blah blah blah, is pretty much what they're getting at. Do you believe if this was being covered up, it would be all the following?
Like, what do you mean the following?
Like those people, like those organizations and stuff like that. I think they'd be the one covering it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've all said the Earth is round, and they can't just go against their word years later about it, if that makes sense. Like, you can't just... Yeah. If you're gonna lie to somebody, you're gonna stick to your lie.
But, like, how... If the world is indeed flat, right?
Mm-hmm.
How far back did this lie start? You know what I mean? Because Christopher Columbus sailed around the world, and he went to America, and he didn't fall off the edge of the earth.
It started at least in the 60s.
1960?
When they finally took a picture of the Earth and realized that it's 100% indeed around.
Yeah. Well, and this is another flat earther complaint or whatever, is that there's no true image that the Earth is a globe. Which, when you look at the globe, any picture of it, it is photoshopped. But it has to be, because you could never take this is also another video I've seen. I am not anyone who has any right to be making these calls or whatever, right? But basically, from what I've seen and heard or whatever from these other videos I've watched, is that in order to take a picture of the Earth, since it's so big and actually capture the whole globe, you have to take hundreds of pictures of it and then combine them together to make the globe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. We're gonna hop into the next little clip.
These are amazing.
Are you selling? Yes. As far as I know, I'm the first guy in the whole world to make a working physical model of the flat Earth. All these are for sale except this one, and that one got sold already. This one I had on the website for $575. So I named this one Hidden Lands Beyond, because some of us think that there's other lands that they're hiding from us. And that could be very well that they've discovered these other lands and they just don't want us to know about it. I mean, you know, we might want to go there, repopulate it.
Alrighty, so we just met Chris Pontius, who thinks he's the first guy to ever make a model of the flat Earth. What do you think about that?
First off, this dude is already adding stuff to his flat Earth maps, talking about we have worlds behind the actual just normal Earth. I would say he's not a reliable source and that he's just kind of going off on a limb.
Well, I mean, I
We can go repopulate the outskirts, like
he said maybe we'll want to go repopulate it.
All right, at first glimpse, dude, like a dude wasn't wearing a shirt, and I thought he was just out there chilling with this guy hanging out. But he doesn't have any facts. He just makes flat Earth maps, and he just makes them but he adds his own details. So I don't know. I mean, anybody can just make a flat Earth map like that. But the fact that he's going above and beyond, talking there's extra worlds that he's just tossing them out there. Yeah, I think that dude's off his fucking rocker.
So, like, I know this is not us, like, this is by no means us debunking the flat Earth theory or whatever. This is just us watching a flat Earth video and just kind of talking about it. But so here's my thing, Shadow, is how long ago was it that we sent a shuttle off to Mars to go see if you know it could possibly sustain life?
A long time ago.
Wasn't that like early 2000s?
I'll just Google it. Just keep Googling random things.
Because, like, why would we waste our time doing that if we know there's land outside of us that we can go populate? And why did he use the word repopulate? What other theories does Chris Pontius have up his sleeves? Widespread killings, and we have to bail from the flat Earth to go to flat Earth 2 and repopulate?
The last thing they sent out, it looks like they sent something around August 4th, 2007, and it landed on Mars around May 25th, 2008.
Of 2000 what? 18?
8.
Oh, okay. So, like, why would the government waste time and money doing that? Unless, of course, you know, the flat earther in me says it's a hoax. It didn't happen. It was just a model rocket that we shot off into the roof of our dome, and just that was it. And then we make up backstories and blah blah blah. Not too much to say about Chris, other than he needs to change his clothes, man, because he looks like he's walking around.
Yeah, get her to not a cream colored shirt. That would probably be maybe like blue. He looks like a blue guy.
All right, let's finish this Vice video and talk about it.
This is the beginning. This will be put in the history books. Today, mark that date. Because whether it's the next generation or the generation afterwards, they will remember this date. People are taking notice, something is going on. This has got to a point now where it's becoming real.
Alrighty, so this one, dude, I literally have... Who is this guy? Basically, what he was saying is the more numbers we have, the more believable this thing becomes. So
It goes back to your little pyramid scheme. The whole
does that make it more real? The more people we have on board with this, the realer it becomes. Realer. Okay, I'm making up words now.
realistic it is.
More realistic it is.
I guess. I mean, yeah. If we go around and I tell somebody something's up, like, oh, hey, McDonald's puts eggs in their burgers, and then some dude works at McDonald's, and even though he knows, like, well, if he just agrees with me or whatever, and I get that on video, I show somebody, wow, they really do put eggs in their burgers, and the more of us that find out they really do put eggs in their burgers, it's going to become a more believable statement than it would be if, like, just me running around telling people about myself. So the mass gatherings that come with the whole flat Earth thing, it makes it seem more believable because one individual doesn't seem crazy if there's multiple people saying the same thing.
So like here's like my thought on it. And I'm very like I'm not going to say like my opinion on the whole flat Earth thing. I don't necessarily believe anything. I like hard evidence in front of my face. And you can do whatever the fuck, you can manipulate a picture any way you want. So, if tomorrow some dude fucking goes up into space and he goes, holy shit, or to the top of the dome, if he goes up and he says, holy shit, the Earth is flat, it's got proof, then I'll be like, holy shit, the Earth is flat. Cool. And that'll be it. I'm not gonna like fucking lose my mind because I'm 22 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the shape of the Earth has not affected my life once.
Not at all, ever.
So to me, it's not really a big deal, you know. What are you kind of where are you standing with this whole thing?
Look, it's probably one of the most believable conspiracy theories out there, so it wouldn't surprise me.
You cut out. I'm
like
sorry. What'd you say?
I said it's one of the most believable conspiracies, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was really flat. Like you said, it would affect my daily life in no way.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't care. It's whatever. Because that's something that I definitely don't think about every day. Like, is the Earth flat around? I don't like wake up like, oh, I might question it today, but not tomorrow. I'm just gonna live my life regardless of it being round or flat.
So
it would just be cool to know like exactly if it was like really round or really flat.
Yeah. So like my thing is back to what we were just talking about a couple. So, you know, if you did the whole McDonald's thing, telling people there's eggs on burgers, whatever, who's to say like way back in the day, people knew the Earth was flat, and then, you know, someone was like, hey, let's start saying this shit's a globe for the memes. For the 1700 century memes, you know, and then it caught on, and then, you know, to this day, the Earth is a globe, and now what if like history is repeating itself, but back to the Earth's original shape?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's a conspiracy. I don't know. I'm not saying I believe in it. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. Very open-minded to the flat Earth. Yeah. So, I mean, do you got anything else you want to say before we wrap up this video?
I'm just gonna say it again, dude. It's probably the most believable conspiracy theory if you look at like all the hard evidence and how like people like look at things. Like, I guess for example, like they say like if the Earth is round, why is it if somebody like runs off in a direction so far you don't notice them actually like dropping? Because what is it? It's like how many inches? Like 7 inches for like every so many miles you like walk away from somebody. You're supposed to technically you're gonna start noticing the curve of the Earth, but people don't notice the curve of the Earth for some odd reason until you're like way far away. But then at that point you can't really tell with just your eyes, so you're just using all this stuff that people just say. It's just hearsay. He said, she said.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know, like you could also say like, you know, what if that area that you're seeing someone walk off into is a downhill, and it's, you know, an uphill,
Exactly.
There's a lot that plays into it. You know what I mean? I've got nothing else. You got anything, man? Alrighty. Well, for those of you that watched, thanks for watching. If you like this, go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell button. I'm gonna put Carol. You got a YouTube, right?
I think so. I think the only video I have on it is. I actually think I have 2 videos on it. It's a PUBG video and a team kill I had.
Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna put Shadow Carol's YouTube in the description if you want to go check out his one video.
Actually, I believe that's it. That's 100%. But I think it's my name, dude. Shadow Carrol. That's my channel.
Alrighty. Well, and let us know what you think. Comment down below if you believe the Earth is flat or not, and also if you want to see some other videos like this, let us know you want us to talk about. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Shadow, say bye.
Catch you on the flip side, brothers.
See you later.